In the previous screencast, we saw this test and we saw that there is some issue with it, something that's problematic a little bit. The fact that we have the number of tests written here and it should be always the same as the number of cases. So we have in the array, the cases array. So we have some kind of a duplication of data here. If we just go and run this test, then we'll see that there is one test failure, obviously the case that is still failing, but everything is okay besides that. But what happens if we add another test case? Now this is going to be a successful test case. We add 1 and 2 and accept 3. And if we run this, we can see that at the end, there is also the number of tests planned is incorrect. And that's because we forgot to update the number of tests. Now, the fact that we need both running the test updated both places, it's usually not really nice. People call dry, do not repeat yourself. So how can we solve this? One of the obvious ideas is to take the number of elements in the cases array and use that when we plan the tests. And if we run the script, oops, there's a problem here because the number of tests was 0. That's because the way Perl works. In this script, what happens is that during compilation of the script, first Perl declares the myCases array and then loads the test simple module, in which case the cases array is still empty. So, and the third item is when the assignment actually happens, when the data filled in this case array. So we can't really do that. Now there is a different solution here, or there are a couple of solutions here. One of them is just say, okay, just forget about this number of tests. Just instead of declaring the number of tests, write no plan. Plan is the plan how many tests we are going to run. But we can say no plan. If you run the test script, now you can see that the 1.6, the plan, the number of tests is written at the end. Sort of saying, oh, you ran 6 tests, you must have planned for 6 tests. It's not really a good constraint. Especially now if we comment out one of the tests, the failing one is a good one, and run the test, and everything is okay, and it doesn't even complain about the fact that the number of tests is incorrect. So this dry thing is not necessarily always a good thing, and having no plan is definitely not, can be problematic. So let's put back the test and see another solution. There is something called the begin block in Perl. If you put some code inside a begin block, that piece of code will be executed immediately after it has been compiled, even before the rest of the script is compiled. So in this case, the assignment will happen even before the test simple is loaded. So the time will be correct. Well, except we don't have the cases array defined yet. That's because, you see, the array was declared inside the begin block. We have to declare the array outside, assign the value to it inside the begin block, and then everything works fine. The 1.0 is at the top, and the number of tests are checked. Now what happens if we comment out the test again here? In this case, we'll see that the problem returns. Solving the problem, the dry program, is not always a good idea. You see, we ran the test and it didn't complain about the fact that the number of tests were not correct. And that's because they were actually correct.